There we go. And hello, folks who are probably watching us now. I'm just trying to get to the live thing. Oh, there it is. There it goes. There we go. There we are. Okay, my thing is turned off. There's a chat room. Hello, everybody. Welcome to GH Mini Spotlight. I'm learning how to do this, you guys. This is not for the faint at heart. For those of you out there, I'm trying to wear my Corinthos Coffee t-shirts. Remember these? We got this years ago. I'm sure folks starting to watch. Yeah, I'm sorry. We started a little late. You know, it's life. It's life in the big city. He has all those DVDs to read and watch back there, so he's busy.
It is all me. It is not James Lott Jr. He was ready to go. I was the dum-dum that tried to do a last-minute run to Barnes & Noble with the little one.
That's so funny. It's Frank Moran, folks. Hello, everybody. They're in the chat room. Hello, folks. We're here.
I've had the pleasure of you letting me do the show with you for several weeks, which is fantastic. I don't know in this time. I've noticed that we're coming from each other's homes, respective areas of each other's houses. I've always noticed the camera on the tripod, but I've never noticed the keyboard. So I love it. I always wish that you would just just hop on and just do a little Nurse's Ball jam for us.
Here we go. Just kidding. I'm not kidding, but it's there. Yes, I am a musician, as you know, and I do. They want to know what's on your hat. You want to know what's on your hat?
It's Ultra Boy from the Legion of Superheroes, guys.
Right.
Gotta be on brand with my nerd stuff.
Yes, I know. I love it. No, yeah. So I'm a musician, and I have albums out and songs out, and that's why I have my keyboard. I doodle on there and actually get ideas.
I love it.
That's what I do. But yeah, it's always back there. The camera's over there. A big picture of me that someone made of me. It's kind of crazy because it's a little show and tell.
I love it.
So actually, someone made this out of beads. They're individual beads. It's me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. Actually, no, it's really cool. A fan.
That
so
is.
Like, thank you. And they put it in a.
That is absolutely because that is not something you finish. You don't finish that in 5 minutes. That takes time, which is awesome.
I saw her doing it one day with somebody else, and I have my Darth Vader. I am your father. Yeah, he's just misunderstood. So you can stand over there.
That's right.
You want to hear me sing? You do something. No. Yes. Hi, everybody. They're coming in. Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm alive. Tiger's alive. We're all alive. Everybody's alive. So yes, we're here. This is a JHP Spotlight here on GLJ Media. Carla and Lucretia both are busy. Carla is actually a voting member at the Emmys because he's hoity-toity and ritzy-titsy. So she's busy doing that. And Lucretia is probably doing one of the 10,000 things she does already. So they're both not here. We miss them. But it's the fellas tonight. It's me and Frank.
It's guys' night. Guys' night in.
Guys' night in. I'm drinking orange juice with nothing in it. So I'm sober at the moment. But we're working it out.
Some strawberry flavored water. Delicious.
Okay. I like that. Mine's from the Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh.
Oh, very nice.
I had drank a beer out of this. It's Yalang or whatever it's called. I should perform at the Mercer's Ball next year. I know they don't want me on there. They don't want me on there.
Freaking Valentine and his piano. James Lott Jr. and his. Get on that keyboard and rock it.
They don't want to hear my songs. They really don't. So we are here today, and we're going to do this. It was the week that was in Port Charles. Before I do all that, of course, follow us on all the streaming services, GLJ Media. We have a page on Facebook called the GH Mini Spotlight. Sign up while it's there. And then, of course, I have all kinds of shows. This is the last show of the Soap Sundays here. We had the Forever and a Day after show. We had the B&B after show. We had Y&R after show. And we had, if you watch Dish and Days, go to their channel. They still do the Days of Our Lives after show on Sundays at 3. And next week, you're not going to miss that. So we talked about Wally Kurth on that show. We talked about Wally Kurth on this show. He's killing it on both shows. So he's having the best life ever right now. Isn't he? He's working it out. Yeah, I'm sober at the moment, guys. I mean, later on, this show makes me drink many times. Trust me, more than Alexis.
Oh,
And I'm going to start with that, Frank. I just want to start with the lamest of all the storylines.
do it.
The lamest. The Neil and Alexis storyline. It's so just. Do we even care anymore, Frank?
I don't. I mean, I assume Ensley Graham must have injured herself in real life because they keep on talking about this wrist all the time. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
It is such a shame because it's like, my boy Joe Flanagan, I love him. I love him on Stargate Universe. It's great. I've always been a fan. Or I'm Stargate Atlantis, excuse me.
Yeah, he was. That's right. He was on that. That's right. Oh,
yes. Yeah. That was my first foray into the Joe Flanagan-ness. I was like, I loved him. So when I found out he was going to get cast on GH, I was like, yeah, awesome. That's cool. I haven't seen him in a while, so this will be great. And he came on with a lot of interest, with a lot of, I was like, all right, I'm digging what he's doing. He's helping to deprogram Christina. That's awesome. But this stuff with Alexis has just been terrible. I don't know what the purpose of the story is.
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I like them together. They have chemistry, but they just won't put them together. And they ruined Alexis.
And I feel like they've ruined both of them because, like, what was the point of them now both losing both their jobs? What was the whole point of that?
And you're not showing us Alexis trying to reinvent herself or nothing. So, but he keeps showing up in places, and they just kind of have that same kind of talk. And I'm just like, this is a storyline I really do not understand at all. I just don't.
Yeah, and they've been really going at it for a long time with this story. They've spent so much time to write two characters into just the most bland and pointless corner that I can think of. It's like I can't even see a glimpse of, like, oh, I guess they were putting them into these positions so they'd be available for blank. I can't even, looking at them right now, I can't even project what a possible twist would be that'd be like, whoa, okay, that makes sense why they're in this position. I can't.
I'm with you. I can't either. I don't even know what. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I just start with that storyline because it's so dumb that I don't even know.
I mean, and for one to have Nancy Lee Grant being around there for a while, there's so many potential storylines you could do with her, especially the one that was always been hinted and dropped when she was worried about her mom's watch and what all that meant. But that just dropped like a hot potato. And then Neil, I mean, you bring on Joe Flanagan, let's give him something to do. He's got the chops, and now you've given him nothing. Oh,
I know, I agree. And Nancy Lee Grant deserves better.
Yeah, and I didn't even like it when both she and Sam were both kind of like, oh, well, I can't be with Jason for 2 years. Oh, I can't be with Neil for 2 years. I didn't even like trying to make some kind of correlation between them because it was still a stupid premise. And now we've got this where now we can be together, but should we still? I don't know. And even if they got together, which great, then what? I mean, I've never heard Alexis. You're right. I haven't heard Alexis say like, well, I guess I could do blank now. Or Neil like, well, I guess I can do this now. Nope. So I have no idea what it's gonna be.
I feel like they wrote themselves into a corner. They need to get out of it at this point. I don't know how to do it. Make him related to somebody maybe, and I'll make him Jeff Weber or some shit. Like, I don't know. Make him do something with him. Like, give him a twin or something. I don't know. So I feel like there's nothing. And I'm a writer, and I don't even know how to get out of this. I'm just like.
But I feel like I could easily see GH making some twist with him to make him the bad guy in some storyline. That this twist will have come out of nowhere, and it's only because of, well, we have nothing else to do with him. We got to give him something because he's going to be leaving the show. So let's do this. And I'm like, great.
Make him part of the mob. That's what Michael B was. Kelly Public Cover was kind of saying. Maybe work for the mob. Get out there. Maybe just do something. I don't know, kids. Someone said they were saying Alexis should help Sean get out of jail. Well, Tom
That's true.
Hanks, well, the actor's a little busy right now. He's doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I don't know, man. It's the thing. I mean, but I think you're agreeing with me and Frank. Just like there's, I mean, something. I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
I think we spent too much time on that storyline. There's nothing going on there.
well, speaking of, because you mentioned Alexis, I will mention that the big thing for her was that Sam came over to visit this week.
The big thing.
Yeah, her big thing is a visit from Sam.
Yeah.
I can't stand Sam at all, and the stuff, the writing that they're doing with her is just awful. What's the point?
I liked New Sam when she was on. I thought the writing was better too. I was like, all of a sudden he said, "Oh, Kelly's back." It was right like ever. I agree with you. Sam being back, that's all I can say about that. I mean, I really have no. I mean, her and Jason, their scenes together. I'm not excited. I'm not thrilled. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I mean, I'm just like, okay.
You know, and again, I know that we don't like to bash on the actors. It's about the characters and the stories. But I will make just a slight criticism for this. I watched Kelly in these scenes this week, and it seemed like she was bored.
Yeah, we don't bash acting. We're not bashing her. We're just saying her performance seemed a little lackluster.
Yes.
It was just kind of like, I mean, Lindsay Hartley just came in and just like worked it out. I mean, she did. She infused something. We said it on here. She infused a vitality and excitement and.
Yeah.
I really can't say because I don't want to bash the actress at all because I like Kelly Monaco. I don't want to bash. I don't know her personally, but I don't want to bash her. But it just seemed. I don't know. I just seen when Lindsay was playing her. It was there's no place for you to submit story ideas. They don't care. I'm sorry, trust me. They don't give two shits about what you think. Well, if they did, we'd be a whole different show. But they don't care.
I mean, I think there's a difference between somebody that's fresh to a role and is excited about the opportunity and just kind of can energize something, as opposed to somebody that has been playing the same role for many years and is in a kind of story beat that has been repetitive and not well suited.
Oh, the word is beat,
Yeah.
Frank. It's been beat. It's like a dead horse that was beaten. The dead horse resurrects itself and says, "I'm dead already. You beat me to death," and then it dies again, and they're still beating on it. That's basically what the storyline is. It's like, I mean, if I hear one thing about, well, I guess I can't because it's my own show. Fucking parole officers and shit. I mean, I don't want to hear that stuff. I mean, it's not story. That is not story. That's not story. Again, they deserve better than that. And so I'd be bored too. I'd be just picking up a paycheck. I was coming and say the lines, "Jason, I love you." I mean, I could do it too. I mean, for a paycheck, I can do it too. It's like, I'm sorry. And Jason has more chemistry with Carly than he does with his own Sam. There's more stuff going on there with Laura Wright. And even Laura Wright, your points. Homegirl begins all kind of storylines. She tries to sell it. That's one thing. Laura Wright will go out there and she will sell a storyline. All the homegirls, she ain't selling nothing.
No.
She's selling peanuts. She's selling.
Although and maybe it's just the type of story. I feel like as crazy as Carly can make people, I feel like you're not seeing her too often getting kind of stuck in the same kind of patterns.
No, not at all.
No.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I just think that Sam again deserves better also, and who she's related to, and on the show, and all stuff. Those Davis girls, they can't seem to pull it together for them. They all can act. They all have potential storylines. They all can do stuff. Christina, Molly, all of them. They just can't seem to pull it together for them.
No, it's and just to hear the same beat, like, Jason, he checked himself out of the hospital against doctors' orders. Oh,
see, I think I think Sam and Brando have something going on. I think they're leading to them, which again, maybe that'll be better. I like Brando, so maybe that'll be a little better. So those there said they like Jason and Jordan.
I mean, of course, but I feel like Steve Burton, he does a good job of striking chemistry with anybody that he's in.
Right.
I can't think of anybody that we've seen Jason Burton or Steve Burton in a scene with and go like, what's up with this? He works well with anybody. So yeah, I could. But again, it's the same beat that I love. Man or woman aside, but if they're in law enforcement, that at some point they're going to be in a position where they're going to need Jason's help, and then there's that underlying respect that builds. That even though we're on opposite sides, I respect you now because you were willing to stand up and help me when nobody else would. Ah, of course, of course.
It happens every time. It happened with Anna. It happened. It always happens. They have to, Anna and Sonny have this kind of begrudging respect, and so now Jordan and Jason. I mean, like it's. You're right. That's an old trope that they use all the time on soaps, and that's how they work together. People, the liaison fans are starting to talk, so they like Jason and Elizabeth much better anyway. So there's that going on. So I mean, that's an age old thing. Don't get the Frizz fans started because you start saying liaison. That's oh my goodness. It's like. You want to start that mess that goes on there. I've been caught in that crossfire before. Yeah, no, Brett.
Oh no, but I feel like we've reached a point where it's this show. I don't know, whatever their designs on Jason and Sam are. That like I really don't. I have zero interest in seeing Jason and Sam together. Yeah, but I feel like the show wants them, and there is a section of fandom that is invested in the J Sam union again.
And the thing is, they did it wrong. When they brought him back, we said this when you were doing the show at AfterBuzz, which is dead. It was so funny that I have to get my little digs in there till I can. Shady Sunday. We said this before. When they had the whole Drew Jason thing, there was a whole plethora of storyline they could have done that he didn't do. And so there's a whole. I mean, it was ripe for the picking. There was so much they could have done, and they didn't do it. So especially with Sam in particular, being torn between the two, they didn't do that. And then they didn't reunite Jason and Sam the way they should have. There's a lot of things they did wrong. So I think this is a fallout and continuation from all that back then. Because where's Jake? Where's little Jake? We even care about him anymore? Like what's going on? Like there's a lot of things that are just kind of like you said. They drop them, but they are integral to the storyline. So I think they did the whole thing. They just botched it up. I think they botched the whole thing up. I said the best parts are Jason McCarley and Sonny. Those are the best parts, basically. And even with Jordan, those are the best parts. Not with Sam. Even when he's Elizabeth, that's good sometimes. I mean, I see it too, but I'm like, it just doesn't seem. Even when he's with Michael, maybe, but when it comes with Sam, it's like they messed that whole thing up. I believe. There was something there, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like at this point in, I don't know, I guess in 2020, there's like a Carly Sonny breakup, I can't buy anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to see them break up and come back together. Either at this point with the show, like a Jason and Sam thing, if you wanted to break them up, I'm absolutely fine with that. And
me too.
Yeah.
We endorse it here on JSP Spotlight.
You can do it. But it's just like, you got to make a decision one way or the other, guys, at this point. And just either break them up or don't put them. I mean, please break them up. Don't put them together.
Even the whole the total Quartermain thing. It's like they're not even fully going into that either with Jason. He kind of got a little upset because of my kids and my grandfather. All of a sudden, he's your grandfather. There's all this stuff. It's kind of like, well, go that direction then if you're gonna go that direction a little more. I mean, like there's a lot. They always tease stuff. They step their toes in things. They never fully go in. They always go some tired, boring direction. So I don't understand. Again, it's all there.
Yeah,
it's all there. I don't understand.
I would be curious if because I know for the longest time, like Steve Burton appreciated the reinvention of Jason as Jason Morgan because that gave him. He was tired of playing just like the goody two shoes Jason Quartermain. This gave him a whole new other side to play, kind of rejuvenated the character for him. I wonder at this point now, after so long of playing Jason Morgan, would he like the idea if the show ever decided, hey, let's all of a sudden these Quartermain memories come back? Would you be interested in playing that side again? Would we be interested in seeing a Jason Quartermain coming back?
I know some folks in here are saying no Jason Q, and some are saying sure. So I know it's kind of one of those things where I think it's a torn thing. It's like I wouldn't mind having a fusion of the two. Yeah. I wouldn't mind where some come back and he's like just kind of because he does love the family on some level. He's kind of reconciled a little bit with them, with the ones that he talks to. I think it'd be interesting if he kept the edge, but had a little bit of that stuff come. But I mean, I don't. They're not going to go there. They're not going to do that. I wouldn't even mind if he played Drew. If he did twins, sure, bring out Drew again. Give him something to do. I mean, like that could energize Sam possibly, and probably maybe. I mean, I just think there's, yeah. I don't know. And folks are already in here talking about Jax and Carly, because you mentioned not breaking up Sonny and them. I mean, there is chemistry there. They do have chemistry. I think they have chemistry.
I agree. You know, and as much as we lamented even last week, it's like, why is Jax back? He's got no storyline now. This is a sad thing. This of things
Now he does. Now he does.
No, this is the worst story to give him. The worst story to give him. We can't tell the authorities that you were there when Nell fell off the cliff. Oh, this was like, no, come on. Come on. This storyline angers me, James. It angers me.
I know. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on it. I agree.
Okay, going into this whole Nell thing, because the biggest thing is that she was wearing, both her and Nina wearing those dopey necklaces. Both of them were wearing the dopey necklaces this week. And so you're thinking, all right, that means somebody's going to see them, put two and two together. All right, great. I thought that person was going to be Jax. I thought Jax was going to run into Nell and see that necklace and go, oh, man, holy cow. And then it becomes a Jax thing of like, do I tell Nina that this person that's so awful is her daughter? Is it worth telling the truth of that? They didn't even go that route. Now Nell is falling off this cliff. She's not dead, of course, because we still need to do that revelation at some point.
Right.
But instead of giving Jax something like that, it is now we saddle Jax with, we shouldn't tell him because, Sonny is your husband.
I know. There were two things that made me cringe, and that was one, and the forced scene. We'll go back to all the Nell stuff too, but the forced scene between Nina and Willow at the house. Did we need that?
I don't know.
Like, they don't like each other. Like, do we really? Like, are you trying to say she's her daughter? Like, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why all of a sudden she's feeling for her, and she's feeling for Nell, of course, too now, feeling this kind of remorse. I'm like, what are you doing to Nina? Like, I don't understand what the fuck you're doing to her. I don't understand. I'm like, what? And I was like, so.
It would only have worked if they hadn't had the episode where they definitively stated that Nell is Nina's daughter.
Right.
If they had just never had that flashback, and for some reason both of them had a heart-shaped pendant, they had one half of it, and now it becomes a point like, oh wait, there's two people that have these heart-shaped pendants, and you could play up the mystery, kind of back and forth of who could be the real daughter, then that might be interesting. But you're right, since we know Willow is not, to have this scene, you're like, okay, I'll come over and teach you backgammon. Is that gonna help?
I'm like, having Lulu come over was actually more appropriate to me than when she came over later. I was like, actually, that's more appropriate because Lulu's kind of a quarterbain, so to speak. She's related somehow. And I was like, that was more in the same age. And what she said when Sasha came by, too, it's kind of like, I miss Sasha as a friend. I get all that part. And see, Nina and Sasha, I get that reunion on some level.
Yeah.
But the Nina Willow thing made no sense. Then going back to Jax and Carly, so he shows up. Of all the people to show up, he's up there. Yes, Michael was his stepson. He does. Love Michael. I like that Michael was the one who found Nell. I'm glad, because I remember I complained before that it was all about Carly last time, the reveal and everything. But this time, I mean, they make it clearly the writers are saying it's between Nell and Carly. Everybody else is collateral, just crossfire damage, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, this time he found because of that kangaroo. She's like, Julian. I started laughing. I was like, sorry, bitch. That's what happens. You made a mistake. But I'm glad that Jason was the one who that Michael was the one that found her, and that Carly came afterwards. But then I thought, of course, Carly has to go after now. They have to have their big confrontation, of course. But she's like, "But then come get me." And I was sorry. And it was like a little tiny, I know it's a fake set and everything, but it made me chuckle. I'm like, okay, you didn't run that fast. I was like, I thought it was kind of funny, and they started fighting. But I was like, it was a quick fight, though. I was like, it's just to the stomach or whatever, and that was it. So I was like, yeah, you old bitch. And then she like went and then fell off a cliff. So I was like, but I give points for how nice that cliff looked. I was like, oh, that's very interesting.
It made me laugh at how quickly Carly came across Nell after she went out to chase her. Like, Nell had a significant head start. And Carly just like, oh, oh, hey, I easily found you right here. So let's have this altercation in this clearing. And then this is how they're gonna send off Nell. Like that, the pacing of this whole thing once they got to the house with Michael just like hanging back awkwardly for some reason and not really like having any urgency when anybody else came in saying, like Sunny, when Sunny comes in, not really playing a big deal that Carly's out after Nell by herself. How dangerous that could be. It's like, oh, I was just here and I'm just waiting. Like, oh, that whole pacing was terrible. To the pacing of Nell and Carly's fight, to then all of a sudden Nell is on the side of a cliff.
She was. Sorry, stuff. But like I said, I liked the special effects. I kind of liked it. A lot of folks actually liked the Michael Nell showdown. They liked it.
There wasn't even a showdown. It was just one, I'm going to smash you over the head with the vase, and he easily gets up. It wasn't even like I'm stunned or I'm like unconscious for a minute or two. Nope, he just pops right up and then wrestles her. Like, why do we even bother with that then? What was the point?
Well, because my Moran said, I was surprised that Nell smashing with that glass didn't knock him out. On most soaps, it'd be enough to kill a person. Michael B says, Frank, Nell got turned around the wood, silly.
Oh.
Michael B says, got turned around the wood, got turned around. She got turned around with her.
And then even well, one that I like that Nell would know that Carly is nearby and can hear her. Like, yeah. But when she's hanging from the side of that cliff and calling out to Carly, like you can't see Carly, not from that angle. So I didn't even know she's around. I didn't even know she's around. And so when just the execution of it was just poor. Of I'm holding on, holding, and then I'm dropped. Like that was just not milked for anything. It was so badly executed.
Yeah, it's this one goes. The whole week was crap.
And where was Chase? Please tell me.
The whole week was crap. This is someone wrote.
Yeah, I mean Chase was much closer to them, to where he came and talked to that woman that saw Carl, saw Nell. That was much closer to the cabin than Michael was in Port Charles. And Chase never shows up at all. I mean, we've called PCPD. We're not getting a hold of Chase at all. What happened there?
Yeah.
And so we get Valerie coming back.
Okay. Everyone I saw online was like, where did she come from? And where has she been? And this is your cousin. These are all your cousins, so to speak. Like Michael's your cousin, Carly's your cousin, Wiley's your cousin. Like it was just like very remote. Like, hi, Carly. I just someone said she said Mrs. Corinthia. I don't think she said Mrs. Corinthia. I think you guys are thinking she said that. I think she just said, hey, Carly, or something. Like it was very removed. It was like very cop-like, or detective-like, or whatever it said. I don't know what she is, whatever she is. But it's like, no, I wouldn't mind having Valerie around more. I mean, she's a Spencer and all stuff, and she's, I mean, fine. But we never see her. Never see her.
Yeah. No, because I mean, I would love a pickup of the Valerie Christina storyline. That one has been teased and dropped so many times. I'd be down for that, absolutely.
I mean, we were like, we forgot Valerie existed. I know. I seriously haven't thought about her in months. I mean, I haven't thought about her in a long time. So it's kind of like, okay, well, hey, girl. I mean, welcome back, I guess, or welcome for the. I mean, her scene was small. It was quick. I mean, good for the actress. Get a little check, I guess. I don't know what's going on there, but I was just like, okay, that's kind of. But again, I will stand by. I did like that Michael found her. I mean, that made for great drama, of course. I mean, Chase finding would have been good too. I love when he calls her Janelle. Every single time he calls her Janelle, it makes me laugh. Because that's how you knew her. That's how you knew her. She was Janelle. I mean, the alert was Janelle. I love that. But I think no, they're all Valerie is working other cases. I guess.
The Amber Alert in the world of General Hospital is fantastic, because anytime we're getting one out here in LA, it's just a text. Your phone vibrates or beeps, and you just get a text with the description. This comes up with a nice picture, big fonts to tell everything that's going on. Photos of the suspected mom and the child being abducted. Gives you beautiful, flashing right up there on your home screen. Mwah! Way to go, GH. LAPD could learn from PCPD in terms of how they put out the alerts.
Yes.
Uh, and as always, the anybody that's trying to flee something, any soap character, they always happen to run into one person that's got all the time in the world and is just super curious about life. It
That
just
was
wants to.
the weirdest. Again, forced exchange. There are 8,000 ways you could have had her run into somebody that would make more sense. Stop at a general store, or
Yes.
or just something, a gas station. But it was like, so this chick just in the dark, in the middle of nowhere, likes to run across the road. Really? And she said, "Hey, hun." I was like, "Okay, girl, we're a little familiar." I mean, it was just like the oddest. It was the oddest exchange. I thought she's kind, and I thought would it be a great twist if she was the creepy one and not Nell, and be like, "Oh, nice baby," and all of a sudden, I mean, that would have been nice. I would take that twist a little bit, but it was just kind of like, she was just this nice little woman, just kind of taking a run, and oh shoot, I got this, my watch. Oh my god, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
That
my
was.
god, is what I thought.
I know that was not the twist in the story that I was hoping. I was like, all right, now Nell's gonna get kidnapped by some freaky lady that's gonna want the baby instead. Like, now you're my prisoner. I've got this baby. Because I feel like the one thing at this point, Nell is still. They. I have zero sympathy for Nell whatsoever. While the show still wants her to, the show. I feel like the show maybe wants me to care. I don't know, but I certainly don't because she exhibits no feelings of any sort of compassion or understanding that she understands that she might be in the wrong, but she doesn't care. She wants to do it anyway. It is always everybody else's. Everybody else has betrayed me. That's just one more person that's betrayed me, and they're gonna get it. And they didn't. Everybody's done her wrong, and I'm so tired of hearing scenes of Nell just listing who's done her wrong.
Well, that's what villains do, right? They blame everybody else. And I think I actually did. To me, it was in character, of course. It's totally in character. I mean, that's what Nell would do, and I like the fact that Carly, when they had their little showdown, which was, had to happen, of course. Um, Carly wasn't taking any flack. She was just like, "No, girl, I tried to bring you into my family. I did always. I'm sorry. I don't care about Frank. I don't care about anything else." I mean, she said what the audience was saying. That's what I mean. And I think what's it, Chloe? Wrong person. That's the actress. Um, and watch my interview with Chloe that's out right now. Um, that Nell need to hear that because it's kind of like she was blamed. You're my sister. You're supposed to take protect. Like all these things. Like you're not a child anymore. It's like you did all this stuff. You set all this in motion. Carly actually said something just very correct. It's like, no, this is all you. This is you. She goes, I would have given you whatever. I mean, at the beginning, she forgets she was a hero to the family because she had saved Jocelyn.
Yeah.
That was it. She went the wrong path. She could, if she had just stayed that path, been fine.
No, yeah. I mean, it was by Nina's or Nell's own choices that she's got herself in this position, and yet there's no matter like because I feel like Nina checked her on that, Carly's checked her on that, and yet it just never sinks into the character at all. I just feel like I need please as soon as this show can at least have Nell kind of get that light switch. That doesn't mean I need to see Nell do like a 180 and become this fantastic Purist and Driven Snow character. I don't need that, but just the constantly refusing to just accept just the base reality of anything. And maybe it's because of the times we're living in right now, which can be kind of very frustrating when you see gaslighting or things like that happening, that you're just like, this is just the simple facts of the case. Why are you constantly unable to see that for what it is? So
and as she revealed on my show, JJD, she said, I don't want to be contract. So folks, she will not be on. She'll probably come back and reoccurring. She does not want to be on contract right now. She has other projects going on. So any redemption storyline is not going to happen, basically, I don't think. It's just going to be just her coming in, terrorizing, go, which for an actor is fun. You come in, you terrorize everybody, you get out. You come in, terrorize everybody, get out. So having her fall off a cliff and then, well, we don't know if she's dead. That's good. Leaves it open. Leaves it open.
are we looking at the modern day Heather Weber? Is that what we're? I mean, essentially.
I think so. I think so. I mean, that's a good comparison. I think so.
But which I think is interesting is that they've then why tie her so heavily into the Nina storyline? Because if she's somebody that's not going to be around, which is totally her right, is should not want to be, which I completely understand. But are we really going to get any kind of satisfying kind of
See, I think they're changing their mind. I think they changed their mind. I think Willow is gonna be the daughter. I think. I could be wrong. Folks, I don't write the show, so I don't know anything. But I'm just telling you, I think having her be with Willow, I think there's something they're leading. Well, which they could drop off, so which they do. But I feel like they're leading to something, and Willow's is on contract.
Yeah.
So like, because you're right, if Nell's on a contract, but then there's no reason to have a storyline with her being her daughter.
Because yeah, that's true. Because I assume if Chloe's taking a break for a while, then the whole just Nina storyline just lays fallow for 6 months until she decides to pop up again. And then even if that's the case, it's just going to be for maybe like a month or two, and then you maybe activate that story, but then she's going to leave again anyway. So what was the whole? I feel like if you're going to pay off Nina finding her child, it's got to be somebody that's going to be around on a regular basis. Otherwise, what was the whole point?
Well, the same thing. Everybody, of course, said they hate coked up Sasha. They're tired of the bag. But I mean, I thought the twist should have been that Sasha was really her daughter. I was like, that should have been the twist. And so I don't know. I mean, it could happen, obviously. I mean, it could happen on some thing. Or somebody said maybe Nina had twins. Willow and Nell are both Nina's daughters. That happens all the time too. That's not far fetched.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not. That's not far fetched. I mean, we said Heather Weather had 2 kids, and her cousin Susan had 2 kids. She had Drew and Jason. We had no idea.
That's true. I'm down for that. Because I give Sasha something else to do, because the coked up storyline, I don't want.
Nobody likes it. We're not into it. We're not into it. I think again, go back into the intrigue of starting up your own business, relaunching Deception. That could have all kinds of stuff. I liked her kind of with Valentine. There was some chemistry there, and I feel like go that direction. They were first brought her in, and then they kind of fall for each other. That'd be interesting. And then what would Nina? I mean, we all could write storylines, kids. We can all write stuff. I mean, I feel like the thing is, the show is there's a lot of stuff to work with, a lot of ingredients to work with to make a good stew. I mean, it's in there, but that they're choosing sometimes things that we're just like, I don't know what you're making. And the chat really kind of agreed with us. They're all just kind of like, what are they doing? It's just kind of like, let's throw these 2 together over here and see what happens. Let's just throw her over here and do and storylines drop, and storylines go this way and they go that. I mean, the only storylines that are constant right now are Mike, he's basically dying. That's a constant one. Carly had a child. We don't know where the F she is, or where Donna is, or whatever. That she's just somewhere at home with Avery. I mean, it's just. I mean, we get the Frids versus Neva. We have them going on, and they're little fun. I thought it was kind of cute. The little fun kind of trying to figure out if each one is doing something. Where Liz was like, well, I just can't trust my man. I don't know what's going on, and Nicholas falling into it. But Ava seemed sincere when she talked to Franco. So I was like,
yeah, but of course we know she's not. I mean, well,
she isn't. I think she likes Franco a lot. She really does value their friendship, but she wants the money and since because Nicholas won't seem to love her. I think if Nicholas said he loved her and would follow with her, she'd be fine.
Yes,
that's what she wants.
Yeah, which, I mean, I feel like that's the smart place for the story, because I don't need to see. Liz and Franco getting sucked into this. At least I liked it this week with the turn that they're like, all right, maybe there's some. Now we know some information, we can figure out what the deal is. But I still don't know how that's all going to play out. I would rather let's have Ava and Nick get together. I mean, the challenging part is what's going to happen with Spencer with that. Because I don't know how Spencer gets on board with that at all. I mean, clearly they've written him that he's not going to.
And that they had that little quick conversation where he's like, "Don't worry, I got other plans. Like we're still on track." So yeah, how's that all going to play out? I mean, that's the whole thing. But then they tease us that Nicholas and Ava have an attraction on some level. There's something there. Yeah. So I mean, again, if they do it right, it could be a good storyline. I always think of moonlighting or whatever. It could be as fun, like where they hate each other, love each other, go back and forth. It could be a good storyline, but I'm trying to be optimistic that they can do that if that's where they're going. We don't know if that's where they're going.
I would hope I would rather see that than Liz and Franco, being used as cheating bait for.
You're right, exactly. And that's been like, and I'm like, they wouldn't cheat on each other. I mean, like, really? They just wouldn't. I mean, just because Elizabeth looks at Nicholas a little way, but I don't think she has feelings for him anymore. I mean, unless they make her have him, I'm just like, I mean, I always thought I never liked Nicholas and Liz together anyway. But they were the four Musketeers back in the day, and I thought that's how it should have stayed. And that's I don't. I mean, it was Emily and Nicholas, and it was Liz and Lucky. That's how I want it. But I just think that now, especially, she's been in love several times since him. That I'm like, why are we even trying to? I mean, she's temptation, really. I don't think that. I don't. Yeah. I don't. I'm not buying it at all. But Ava does seem to like Nicholas a little bit. And so I'm like, let's go that direction. That the scene leads to them falling into bed and maybe falling in love. That's a classic soaping.
Very true, because especially with Ava, there is that I feel like she's the one character that really lives on that thin line of love and hate, where she can hate you one minute, but you could just so easily start hopping in the sack with you in a heartbeat. I mean, she already when you have sex with somebody in a crypt. So, I feel like you could do anything at that point, right? you can come back and get together with anybody.
Right. So so that's that storyline. And one of the other go ahead.
Oh, just because I know we're talking about the various kids and stuff.
Yes.
With the Nell storyline with young Wiley, you could just the way they tried to create that he was actually there on set. Like, you can already tell, like, that's why Nell shouldn't be a mother to him. Where we put a child on the very edge of a bed next to a nightstand that he fall over and hit his head on. Like you couldn't even put him in the center of the bed just to, like, hey, we're gonna just keep him protected. We couldn't even do that. No.
Any parent knows that's not good. We all know it's not good. We know it's not good.
That was great. Yes, the other storyline, James.
Well, one of the other main storylines this week was the Brooklyn, because she's connected because of Nell. But I want to say I thought Wally Kurth, who on both shows this week, Days of Our Lives, did good there too against Allison Sweeney on that show. I thought great scenes, the bedside scenes, and great kind of like the scenes we were talking with Olivia about the Quartermains, like reminding us of how they act and how they are, and him feeling kind of a little like he was too Quartermain, even though I know Tammy Govey, our friend, Tammy Govey, I did the Blown Beautiful show with, was like, screw that. I want to become Edward Jr. His name is Edward. He needs to be more Edward. And she wanted to know what Frank thought about it. She told me on my show today, on my other show, make sure you Frank talk about it, because I want to know what he thinks about the Quartermain stuff. So, Frank?
I love, as I've talked about before, I love Ned and Olivia being the modern day Lila and Edward, which is great. But I also love it that it's a spin. I mean, Olivia is just as strong as Lila was, and is certainly a lot more in your face about it. I feel like Lila could be a strong woman, but she would be more subtle in the way she would operate. So Olivia, though, if she sees something wrong, she's going to get in your face about it. So I like this spin for 2020, and I like calling Ned out on his stuff. The only thing that bummed me about this is that I like Ned realizing, like, oh yeah, I'm becoming just. I never thought I would want to be like my grandfather. And all of a sudden, I'm realizing I have become him. And so I like that realization. What I didn't like, as much as I love a Ned and Olivia scene, it was like, why are we spending all this time with Olivia having this conversation? And even when she even says it, like, that's great that you can say it to me, but the one that needs to hear it is Brooklyn, who's not like she's far away or she can't, she's like, I got to get a hold of her and see if I can find her. She's 20 feet away from you in a hotel, in a hospital room. Why he couldn't be in there sitting here telling her all this? I think that scene would have, instead of giving these awkward scenes of Brooklyn just flashing back over the kind of breakdown of her and Ned's relationship right before everything that happened, I was like, why am I seeing these flashbacks when instead I could have a scene of Ned telling the stuff to Brooklyn instead? To me, that seemed that was the only part about that whole sequence that I thought was kind of a bummer.
Two things. I just looked over. Michael B., who's very vocal on here, of course, wanted me to tell you, well, the kid is not a baby, he's a toddler. It still matters.
Yes.
I've had children. I'm like, toddlers are still, they roll around, they move in bed. I mean, I don't know if you have kids or don't have kids, Michael B., I have no idea what you do. But I've raised two children, and I know that it's still too close. It's
Yes.
still too close. Even close for me. I'm a grown up. I don't want to lay next to my nightstand that close because I might hit my own head. So I'm gonna rebuke on that one. But secondly, everyone they're all agreeing Wally killed it. It is.
Yes.
That's the one they did. They disagreed that that he just really, when he broke down, I was like, oh my God, Wally, okay. And this year you had the same kind of scenes on days. I'm just like, Wally Kurth is like the hidden treasure. Like, just pull him out. He's a pitch hitter. He gets out there and he's so just, everyone knows him. And so, it's like, there you go. I just love it. So everyone agrees. I agree. And it's funny because I like Amanda Seton who plays Brooklyn. This Brooklyn, I give her maybe a B minus C plus. Or she's not horrible or anything, but she worked her scenes too because she didn't talk that much. But she worked her scenes. I mean shady. It's Shady Sunday, but I don't mean to be shady, but because she couldn't really talk that much, she did work. I like that she worked her scenes. But I love Epiphany was kind of like, okay, everybody, why is everybody in here? And she took that paper out of her hand. She's like, okay, everybody get out. I don't care. Get out. Everybody get out. We got to get out. I don't care. Get out. Get out. Get out. I love when Epiphany shows up because she's no nonsense. She's like, this shit's not gonna be happening right now. She's like, you need to go. And everybody had to get out. That's her out. But I love that. But I thought it was kind of cool that she had to confirm that Nell was the one who did it because we had to connect dots.
Yeah, I like that. I also in the year of 2020 that it took so long to. I mean, they did play the beat of trying to give her a pen and piece of paper to try to write, and she couldn't because of the drugs. But like also, hey, you also have a cell phone that you could have just open up the memo function and you just can type words in and hold it up that way. That they had to play up such the beat of Brooke Lynn saying to Michael like, GPS tracking device on Wiley. and she would keep flashing back on it when the doctor would say, you can't talk. You have to rest your voice. And she keep flashing back to those 5 words that have now just have ruined her vocal cords forever. She can never speak again because she said those 5 words.
Exactly. That part of the storyline I'm not looking forward to. Now she won't be able to sing. I'm like, oh. That's the one thing I'm not looking forward to. That's the storyline now. So I'm like, okay. But it did serve a purpose on some level for stuff. And, and like I said, again, to showcase Wally Kurth and Lisa Locicero, who plays Olivia, I have no problem with that then. If it showcases them for a while, it gave them some meaty stuff to play. And I said, again, showcasing the history, talking it out in a way that was very natural. You're sitting there waiting to hear what's happening. You're talking about it was very natural. It just was very natural. They're such a great couple chemistry. I know they're going to bring Robert Scorpio in the middle of it all. I get that. But right now it felt good. It felt like, okay, I co-sign this idea.
Yes, I love it. I mean, in fact, these aren't 2 characters where I doubt their love for each other. They have had these arguments and have both also expressed their love to each other to other people. So I don't doubt that, which I love. You can as much as you love somebody, they can also drive you crazy at times. And sometimes everybody needs to put if you find that person that you click with, that they can put you in check and or at least like, hey, you're acting like an idiot. Let's get it together, buddy.
I also did like the fact when Michael was talking to her because they're cousins and they are pretty close, and then he felt really big. I'm sorry, I brought her into our lives. I mean, literally, you did, Michael. You brought her into our lives. So hello. But I did like the kind of talk because they look out for each other and they are cousins, and I'm like, they show some Quartermain love. I did like that.
Well, so it's a segue back to the Nell storyline for just a second. The beat with Michael, because that's where he was trying out with finally got the code for the cell phone for Nell's original cell phone, where Chase gives it to him. But I feel like one that you don't need to give Michael the cell phone. Michael can just tell you the numbers that he has in his head, so you don't need to give it to him. But he does anyway, so he can then run off and have that scene with Brooklyn. But also Chase's function at that point became, well, hey, you only got 2 more tries. Oh, you only got 1 more try. Yeah. This is what we're doing for Chase? This is what we're giving him. All right, cool.
Yes, that's what they gave him.
Yep.
The director said, say these lines, and that's what you're going to do. So that's what he had to do.
And then he took that wrong turn that lady kept on warning Nell about. If you miss that turn, you're going to be lost in these woods. That must have been what happened to Chase. That's why he wasn't able to show up to the cabin.
So there is talk on it because Brianna Lane actually is a singer in real life. The one who plays the Brooklyn right now. But I heard there's a rumor, and it's not. I don't know if it's confirmed, but some are saying that Amanda Seaton can't sing, so that's why we've not seen her sing. But I was gonna say they always can do lip syncing. They can do all kind of stuff on the show. But
Yeah.
if this is a storyline of facilitate her not singing, that's interesting. They should have got an actress who can sing then. I mean, it's kind of like that. Brooklyn's always been a singer, so I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing. So yeah, so we'll see. Well, I guess we'll see how. Again, I'm not looking forward to that storyline because it means Dusty's gonna be involved, which means Lulu's gonna be involved. I'm just so not. I didn't bring back Dante so we can get that going and put Dusty with her. I mean, that's what they need to do. Clearly, that's what's going to happen. Clearly.
You know, the frustrating thing though is that, and we've seen this played, one with Patrick and Patrick and Robin, as well as with Jason and Sam, is that when their significant other was off the canvas, in that case Robin and Jason, and you pair up Patrick or Sam with somebody else, it just goes back to the same beat that when the original comes back, they're going to go back to that original. And so I feel like it's the same thing here. I mean, this Lulu Dante thing, the Dustin part of it, it's just like I can't care. One, they haven't done a great job of setting it up at all. But at this point too, it's like there's no suspense to that. We know Lulu's going to go back with Dante when he comes back. So what's the point of all this?
Unless they brought Valerie back to put him with Valerie. I didn't take that for a minute. Like. I don't know. We don't know what they're doing. I mean, we have ideas of where they're going to try to go with this, but it's kind of like, I mean, Dante's still in that home, and we got to get Homegirl over there to see him. I mean, it's just.
Well, when the doctor just come in and says, "Hey, they want to put you back in Port Charles to run an op," I mean, I feel like it's going to be about Peter, even though they're being critical about saying it's going to be.
Right.
So I get it feels like Liesl finally said what she knows about Peter. And I do like, because they keep answering, well, the director, don't you mean Frisco Jones? The director isn't like, why don't you just say Frisco Jones?
Right.
Yeah, I think Dante, coming from Port Charles, would know who Frisco Jones is. He worked for the PCPD. He would know that name. You don't need to see the director. It's fine. So I guess he's going to get activated and go back and try to help with this Peter situation. Which is fine. I just get rid of this PTSD. I never need to see another flashback of the mission. I will complete the mission. Or Lulu getting hit with a silencer. I don't need to see it. I've got it. GH. You've showed me those scenes enough. I'm good. I don't need to see them anymore.
I completely agree. And I just, yeah. And the last really big thing that, of course, was revealed, and now folks know about it, Taggart's alive. So last week you were like, what was going to happen? Well, this week he said, so he's the one that helps Nell get away.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, why? I'm like, well, I guess he did think he saw something because he wouldn't know Nell, I guess. He wouldn't know who Nell is. He wouldn't know who Julian was. But I was like, Julian was like, okay, he was like, I'm done, bitch. This is over. And it's like, well, if you kill me, he's like, I don't care. We need to get rid of you. But then he got jumped.
Yeah.
Taggart.
Did you? Because I did not realize until he got to the safe house, Jason's safe house, that he had been shot. I did not realize during that altercation with Julian that he got shot with a bullet in the arm.
I didn't either.
He just got hit really hard against the wall and just kind of slumped down.
Yeah, me too. I didn't get that either. And all of a sudden he was shot. So I was like, and then Jason finds him. I'm like, he goes, anger boy. I'm like, okay. And then they take him home, and Sonny is, and the scene of Epiphany though was good. Epiphany was like, okay. I got my reasons why I did what I did, and I don't have to explain them to you. That's right, Epiphany. She didn't. And she was like, she goes, you have your secrets, and I don't ask you about your stuff. She was like, she was very plain about like, yes, she knew he was alive, and she had her reasons. I kind of like that. She goes, I'll take care of him. I'll take care of him, but that's all you're gonna get. So I kind of like that she put him in his place a little bit, like when he said and then Sonny goes, well, what did she show? She didn't tell me. She said she told me that it was none of my business, basically. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's basically what she told. And he told Sonny. Sonny was like, okay, he knows Epiphany. He knows how Epiphany is, so he's like, okay, I got it. But him talking, so that whole couple of days that he was back, and Sonny grilling him, of course, on stuff, and they kind of had again begrudging respect, kind of, because watch my daughter and all that. I didn't mind it so much.
It was fine until like Sonny's like little. I'll try as best I can.
And I was like, Sonny, what you say to somebody? I'll try.
I'll try.
Answer. That's not an answer. Answer it all.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Like,
Okay, well, thanks, Sonny. I feel safer now.
I
And
was
then,
waiting for Tiger to call that out, going, "You got to do better than just try, buddy."
yeah, it's
Okay.
like, hello. And then seeing him watch Trina and Portia. And I'm telling you, Portia and Curtis, going over their live. Trina is her daughter. It's his daughter. I know it is. It has to be. It has to be. I mean, this whole thing. Well, then I know you were married, and then I went back to. I mean, I was triggered, and I'm like, okay, we get all that. Why are we rehashing that for some reason? Must be because of Trina. It
Yeah.
has to be because of Trina. We're not dumb.
Yeah, because especially when they're sitting down and she says like she would like Trina to be like her father in terms of honesty. So I feel like you're talking really about Curtis there because Taggart was never. Taggart's got some skeletons in the closet, so yeah, it wasn't
Right.
him. Yeah, it's just all right. Well, what's frustrating too is also with Jordan and Jason, the scenes that come out of it when Jason goes to talk to her about it, and Jordan's like, "There's nothing I can do about this right now. I can't tell. I'm in too deep, too far to tell Curtis anything. Like, really? So your option is to not say anything to him, and then when this is all settled and the truth comes out, how are you going to be in a better position at that point? It made zero sense to me. Why people think that, like, oh no, I've still got to keep it secret, even though I know it's bad, to get to the end, and so it's still going to be bad. It's,
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I totally don't understand it, and I just think it's gonna all blow up, and Curtis is gonna go to Portia. That's what's gonna happen, and I don't know what Jordan's gonna do. But it's just like we think she went to Cyrus. That'd be kind of funny.
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that. I mean, Curtis has got to he's got to pull the plug at this point, right? If
Right. I mean, Taggart. Her line about Taggart's a big deal. That's a big deal, and they wouldn't have done it for some frivolous reason. It has to be. They're gonna bring up Jordan and Curtis.
yeah, so all right, so see you later there, guys. For as long of a time that we waited for the two of them to get together, all right, now we gotta just enjoy some time with them apart.
Everybody agrees with me. They think it's what it is. They think it's going to happen. That the reason why is she's lying about Taggart, and he said no more secrets, and he's telling her all the stuff that's happening with him and Portia. He's disclosing everything and their past.
Yep.
See, folks are saying Jordan and Taggart. I saw chemistry there a little bit. I saw a little bit of chemistry there, but I don't even know if that's even it. I think they're just friends. I just think that it's going to be more about Curtis going on with him and Portia. I think they're trying to push that together.
Yeah, because if that happens and then Portia drops the bomb, well, I'll be curious to see when Portia does the reveal, because I think then also Jordan's mad, that Curtis is mad about that too. It's like, all right, now you tell me that this is my daughter. She's like 17 now. Okay, now you're telling me. So I can't. I feel like Curtis is not going to be with either of these women at that point.
That's true too. Like screw it.
Yeah.
I just think they never said that Trina was born not when they had an affair. I know that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. The thing is, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's a reason why Trina, Taggart, they're all in each other's orbit. It's not for happenstance. There's a reason for it. We don't know it officially yet, but these are just already little predictions of, and I kind of feel like I watch enough soaps to know that they don't do things sometimes just because. They do sometimes just because, but most of the time, they're leading to something. And the fact they keep going each other's orbits, and Trina hates. I mean, there's just things that they do that are so lazy in many ways, lazy soap tropes, that how can you not think that? I mean, it's like, I mean, come on, Curtis and Taggart. I see that. I like to see that. That's no, I feel about that Marlon Wallace. I'd love to see that pair up, but that's not going to happen, of course. Not on daytime television. Yeah, not that one. Not those two. Yeah. I mean, I just. Anyway, now people know he's alive. So it's like people know he's alive. I guess he's running off now again, like because he had Sonny's gonna try to take care of Trina. So I guess now he can go off for a while. Maybe he'll come back later. I don't, because he wants to kill. I mean, I don't know. And even Sonny was like, we can't really kill him right now.
No, yeah, of course not.
I make the associates see that he's horrible and make him fail, and then we can do it like.
Yeah, we can't kill him until his 2-year contract runs out. Then he can conveniently get wrapped up.
Never get rid of him. I think Frank's onto something at this point. I mean, that's subcontract. So I don't know. I just think, oh my God, people. So I mean, and I as we start to wrap this up, because you can't even talk anymore about General Hospital. But here's the deal: I do like the show. I do watch it.
Mhm.
We watch it, and we're just everybody's kind of agreeing with the things we're saying, but we're just critical because that's our job to discuss the show. I just critical because we want a good show. That's what we want. They have good actors. Again, they have a lot of the ingredients for great story and storyline possibilities. And like Frank says, I agree with him. I hate when storylines are just dropped. They look good and it drops, or when things are drawn out, and then after a while you just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, and people asked earlier, why isn't TJ and Molly on contract? I have no idea what they're doing. I have no idea why they're not contract. I mean, again, we're supposed to care about them, but we don't see them.
No, it's frustrating with characters like that you only see them in the extremes of their relationship. So the next time we see TJ and Molly, it'll just be for one hot second when they see Brando, and we will watch Molly go like, "Oh no, is he gonna say something?" Okay.
I mean, we don't care about that anymore either. It's like we can't even care because we don't see TJ and Molly together very often. So like, who even cares? I mean, if it comes out, okay, I wouldn't mind Brando and Molly together. But again, I feel like they're going towards Sam, which I don't mind that either. So I'm like, I don't, it's all just like, I don't know.
I mean, now that we know that the motorcycle part, there was definitely sabotage involved. I feel like Sam's going to put on her detective's cap and go like, I'm going to get to the truth about Brando. Truth being his shirt off, and they're,
Okay, that's how that works on soaps. That's how it works.
But I also feel like hopefully next week or the next 2 weeks, we see a scene between like Liesl and Dante, where Liesl like gives Dante the down low about everything that's been going on with Peter in Port Charles. So he comes in with some knowledge.
Any chance of our friend Kathleen Gotti coming back to the show, I will take it. Folks are saying that there would have been love scenes on these shows sooner, but the road has stopped that.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah, that's possible. But yeah, I'd love to have some Liesl in there and her to explain because she got wronged, and so for a change this time she didn't do this. So I thought that was kind of an interesting twist. And so it would be nice to have her back and Phil Dante in. Someone earlier thinks it's Dustin that he's the
album. No, it's got to be Peter. It's got to be Peter.
Because General Hospital loves Peter. They're all about, how much I hate him. They're all about Peter. Peter, Pumpkin Eater. They want Peter for everything. So, of course, you're going to make it about Peter. I'm sure.
Yeah. It just makes sense if he's at a WSB location and Liesl's at a WSB location and Peter is kind of, the topic of conversation. How could that not be the point? I'm sure Liesl's, singing like a canary. Everything Peter.
And she should.
Yeah.
Should.
I'm down with Dustin having something else going for him because he doesn't really have much else. I like him. Let's give him a little bit more meat on his bones.
I agree. I totally agree. You guys, it's been 63 minutes. We're ending it now. We talked about a show that we weren't really happy with, but we talked about it a lot today, didn't we? And with you guys, I'm like, 32 people watching. Thank you, 32 people for watching. And for all of us who watch this afterwards, thank you. You've been making this a nice little chunk of change for me. You guys are like started tuning in and commenting and watching this. So we're getting nice numbers. So thank you here on JLJ Media. I know some of you guys are like, where do I find it? What do I do? Where do I go? It's not on AfterBuzz. There is no AfterBuzz TV doing shows. It's dead. So come to JLJ Media. Subscribe to my channel while you're here. God bless America. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting there. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe to the channel while you're here. Be kind. Rewind.
Absolutely. Go to yourself.
Tell people where they can find you if they want to rant with you.
Oh, rant with me, folks. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. I know I got one tweet this week about Valerie's wig. So yes, those are the kind of things I like to talk about. So go ahead, share your thoughts with me at HappyGoJackie.
And I do want to give a heartfelt condolences to the family of Chadwick Boseman. We're both superhero fans, and Black Panther is a very important film in our culture and in our time. And also, it was good. So it was also good. It was very Marvel for me. It was very Marvel plus very African. So for two things, it worked for me. How'd you feel about Black Panther? Your side? We never talked about this. How'd you feel about Black Panther?
I enjoyed the movie. There were a couple little nitpicks that I had about it, but overall, it was a good movie, and definitely that was a death that took me by surprise. I mean, like everybody had done it. I mean, it's just that the death of somebody that the unfulfilled, unrealized potential of everything that had coming ahead.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It was, and I'm looking forward to Black Panther 2. I was looking forward to that. So
Yeah.
I guess that's not up in the air at the moment, but he did a great job in that film. And so I just want to give out in colon cancer, folks, men, check your colons, check your balls, or testicular cancer, prostates. We got to check for it. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter what age. You know, we got to check for things like that sometimes. And apparently he was fighting it for a while and still doing work. He was working and fighting at the same time. So he was working it out. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So shout out to him and his family. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. Sold at James Lott Jr. On all social media platforms. Yes, tomorrow night I'll be with Flo Bito. Flo Boyce and I will be on his show, What's Up After Hours. Talking about, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but Flo is my friend, and who knows? Late night, I'll be drinking probably, so we'll see what happens on his channel, Flo Boyce. So make sure you go over there and follow his channel. And of course, this show is everywhere. Follow it everywhere. But everyone, please have a great week. And thanks, Frank. And everybody, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Mwah. Mwah.